If you work a single day for a coalition forces, if you support a single day for your coalition forces, they will kill you. I know that. I will be killed by the Taliban.
Thousands of translators who served with U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan are fearing for their lives as the American military pushes through with its withdrawal.
There are tens of thousands of our allies right now who are hunkered down, trapped, and not on anyone's list to be evacuated.
As the U.S. withdraws from Afghanistan, the Taliban has seized control of the country. While U.S. troops are being evacuated, the Afghani interpreters and allies to the U.S. are being left behind.
They should be brought immediately. That the threats and violence imposed upon the U.S. allies back in Afghanistan are already properly documented.
We're getting goodbye notes. Afghans believe that they are about to die.
We're going to have to accept the fact that they're going to be dead in a couple of weeks, and those deaths are going to be gruesome.
And at least 300 interpreters, have been killed since 2016, and that number increased dramatically and drastically.
An Afghan interpreter messaged me today, "Dear sweet sister, the Taliban are in my village. I am about to die. I know who you are. You are for us, but your government is killing us."
There is a moral obligation here, and we made these people a promise. This is going to be something that will haunt us forever.
I'm Rayy, and welcome back to Rebel HQ. With the Taliban solidifying their takeover of Afghanistan, the U.S. appears to be abandoning its allies and leaving them to die gruesome and horrific deaths at the hands of the terrorist organization.
His code name was Spartacus, and he was going through the special immigrant visa process. He was detained at a Taliban checkpoint, and then when they found out he had these documents and he was applying for the visa, he was unfortunately killed along with his entire family.
While the Afghani allies and interpreters are technically eligible to receive special immigrant visas, also known as S visas, the process is so backlogged that it could take between 3 and 5 years to process these visas. Despite Congress passing a bill to streamline the process, veterans, advocates, and the interpreters themselves say it's not enough.
I think we haven't done, as an American, we haven't done what we should have done. We need them back here because we promised them, and then as an American, we need to keep our promise and bring our allies home safely.
The process was created to vet each applicant properly and not for speed.
So many of our allies who are trapped, who don't have a way out of Afghanistan. They've spent years in an endless bureaucratic process with special immigrant visas, the SIV visas. This is just confusing, multi-step, really challenging, difficult, heartbreaking bureaucracy.
It's a 14th step that takes on average about 3 years to complete this SIV, this special immigrant visa process or application. And in some cases, the cost of that for the interpreters and their families can be in the thousands of dollars, and they simply don't have that kind of money.
The Afghani allies who have received S visas are required to exit the country through Kabul. Over 50% of those allies do not reside in Kabul. With the Taliban now controlling every major roadway into the city, as well as the airport at Kabul, the journey to evacuate for those translators is, simply put, a suicide mission.
We only have a plan to evacuate people who can get to Kabul. Half of the population that we know that needs evacuation are outside of Kabul. The Taliban control the roads between the cities, and there simply aren't enough flights in between the cities to move them all back and forth. And the Afghan military can't do it. They're losing the country actively to the Taliban.
The State Department is so backed up right now, they can't even process these visas in time. They're looking at a 2 to 4 year backlog, which is why it's very important for us to get these people out. They've got bullseyes on their backs as well as on those of their family members. We need to get them immediately out of harm's way.
While almost 20,000 Afghani allies to the U.S. are eligible and have applied for the S visa, only 1,000 have been evacuated. Including the families of those allies, there are over 70,000 Afghani citizens waiting to be processed and evacuated to the U.S. As the Taliban completes its takeover of the country and the United States does nothing to expedite the immigration processes, it appears that these Afghani citizens who risked everything to assist the U.S. in the war or being left for dead.
I will be definitely killed by them after the withdrawal, so that's going to happen to me if I'm still in Afghanistan. So I'm worried about the future of this kid, the future of these kids. So who will take care of them?